ooh, ow, ooh, ah, oh no, not again. All right, this is the Gooners podcast. This is a special episode of me being up all night the night before a game and having nothing better to do than to try to start a game, try to start a podcast an hour before the game. Daniel.
Hello.
You're here, man. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, hey, you know what? It was either you or me or nothing. This is me coming home from my trip and saying, you know what? This game is the most important game we've had in like 845 years.
Yeah.
I know that when like Arsene Wenger was in charge of the club, we had some important games. But is this not the most important game in the history of Arsenal Football Club?
I would say right now, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
right now, yeah.
I mean, the Champions League final was kind of, 2006, not that important.
Painful.
This game today,
painful, yeah.
So much more important, right?
Yeah. Can't agree more.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we haven't podcasted for a while at the Gooners podcast. The reason is because I have a bunch of goofballs.
London.
Well, I've been in London, I've been in Spain, I've been in Germany, I've been in France. We're gonna put some stuff up about that trip in a little bit, but cool. I'm just so geeked up about this game today. I have to admit, Daniel.
Yep.
When the game against Chelsea occurred after 3 straight losses on the trot.
Yeah.
Where's my bell? I don't have the bell. I thought we were going to win that game solely because we do the things that we're not supposed to do. We lose the games we're not supposed to lose, and we win the games we're not supposed to win. So, like, that one was almost predictable. Like everyone's like, oh, I never saw that coming. I didn't think we could beat Chelsea. Of course we could beat Chelsea because we can lose. We can lose to Palace. We can lose to Southampton. Of course we can beat Chelsea. Yeah. And that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting, like if we were going to win, I was not going to, well, to be honest, I did not expect the win at all. Because,
who would expect it? But, you knew it could be there because, Arsenal.
Sorry.
If you've been paying any attention to Arsenal, you just know that you don't know what Arsenal's going to do. Just when you think they've turned the corner, they don't turn the corner. And just when you think that we've turned the awful corner and we're just shit, we come out with a performance like this. Or we win the FA Cup or some shit like that. And I mean, it did not surprise me that we won the game the other day. But tell me how you felt about it.
Well, of all people to score 2 goals, like all season, Nketiah, who, let's face it, he's not been he's been, awful all season, and then he has a dynamite performance.
Has he been the best signing that we've had from Chelsea? Or I mean, I don't know that we've had a better signing from Chelsea. William Gallas, Check. I mean, I think Nketiah might still be our best signing from Chelsea at this point.
Yeah. Well, certainly when he puts in a performance like he did against them the other night, and I hope. Well, I never thought that I'd be saying this season, but I hope that he starts today.
It's a strange thing when everyone tries to figure out what these players are about. No. In saying that, I'm going to give the typical, Mike thing where I've been up all night. It's now 6:32 in the morning. I've been up for 97 straight hours. I have had a drink or two. So, maybe I'm not going to make the most sense in the world. But what I'd like to say is that we as Arsenal supporters and football pundits, if you will, we don't know shit about this game. Like, how are we supposed to know that Eddie Nketiah sucks? He doesn't suck. He just hasn't played well for us, and maybe he's not good enough for us. But you know what? On the day, if he's put in the right position, the guy's always been able to. The guy's always been able to put the ball in the goal if he's 2 feet away from the goal. And you know what? He had 2 opportunities against Chelsea where he was like 2, 3, 4 feet away from the goal. And
I'm gonna have this.
I mean, there is a legitimate argument now about whether Nketiah or Lacazette, out of our 2 strikers, would play better, or whether you would rather have Martinelli in there. And the situation is such that any of the people who think that they know what we have or we don't have, you never know, because who would have bet on Nketiah being the man of the match or the brace scorer in a win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge at this point?
Yeah, like no one really would have had that, but fair play to him. He stepped up, and man of the match for me. Like this season.
All right, so the lineup is out. The lineup is out. I have not seen it yet. Let's see what we got.
Nor have I.
We've got, all right, here we go. We got Ramsdale, Cedric, Ben White, Gabriel Tavares. It looks like a 4 at the back. Xhaka Elneny. Xhaka Elneny in the pivot. Elneny gets a second start. Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Nketiah. So it's I mean, to me, that's
same team.
That's the same team.
Same team.
And I'm here for that. I mean, look, why change it up?
Yeah.
We're going to add somebody in today who's at the Tollington. So Marky Mark is at the Tollington today.
In the rally, caught in the rally.
I'm sure you can't hear us, but how's the game day atmosphere? You ready for this? Can't hear us at all.
Hey!
Oh, there's Lucy. Oh, there's Lucy.
There we go.
James.
Mate, we can't really hear you because it's pretty loud.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
That's okay. I have nothing good to say. It's nice that Lucy joins the podcast. She every time I've come over, Lucy doesn't want to have anything to do with me. So it's nice to finally see her.
Say it again, Mike.
Say again.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Mike, I keep missing you on the games. You need to come down again.
All right. Well, every time I come down, she keeps missing me. I'm taking it personally.
Yeah. Gives you the cold shoulder.
Shravan, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Germany.
Germany?
Yeah, I'm originally from India. But I live in Jena, which is a small, a small university town in Germany.
Where in Germany are you calling from? Like what part again?
It's called Jena. It's in Thuringia.
What's the closest large city? Because I was just in Germany with my son a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just trying to figure out
Leipzig is the closest. Yeah, it's an hour from Leipzig.
A couple weeks ago, we saw Leipzig play in Dortmund, and Leipzig absolutely crushed Dortmund in that game. I gotta say, as an American Jewish guy, I'm really comfortable in Germany. Like it's not what it used to be. I mean, I know that might shock some people, but no, Germany is legit, man. Germany is a great place to go travel, and I mean, all kidding aside, the football there is amazing. The first day of the trip with my son and I, we went to both Leverkusen and Dortmund, and you could not get around that. I mean, I know this has nothing to do with you, Chevron.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I just landed here in April, so Sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
yeah, but Dortmund like must have been amazing.
Oh, it's
like to be there.
class. I did the yellow wall at Dortmund about 5 years ago without my son, and then when he was finally old enough and we had a chance to do it again, I was like, we got to do that again. But
Yeah,
but Chevron, you're not here to talk about Dortmund or Leipzig. You're here to talk about Arsenal, I suppose. So it is a very, very important game day. Does this not feel kind of like the most important game in 791 years?
Yes, 793 years, but yeah,
Okay,
it's
well,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
all right.
just a couple of years more, but yeah, it does. And I just didn't realize until like today morning that like in like today's match day, that's the first kickoff. I didn't know.
yeah,
I
lunchtime.
thought
Well,
yeah, I thought the
lunchtime here in
Brentford.
the UK.
Yeah, and I think it's literally like almost it's like a high risk, high reward sort of a situation. Like we win and then we can follow the Brentford versus whatever game
Yeah,
with confidence. We win, and then if we don't, it's going to be like a dreadful weekend. So, and I think um well, I mean, losing the three
it
games has put us in a situation where it's like, I mean, I remember when we won against Wolves, right, at home, like the game in
yeah,
which we got a lot of slack for like celebrating, like as if we have won the Premier League and stuff like that. And people were saying like the reason why Arsenal did it is because like every game from then was like 17 cup finals and stuff like that.
mm,
I just feel like that has been now compressed into like 5 games. I would say. I mean,
yeah,
like we play
yeah.
Man United, and then
Agree with
we sort
that.
of put the final nail in the coffin. We play West Ham, and then it's the same thing, and then
Yeah,
we play Tottenham. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm a bit nervous. I mean, I'm not nervous because it's Man United at the moment, but I just feel like not just Manchester United, like generally with I've seen this for Arsenal, like even when we play like Leicester or West Ham or something like that, whenever there's like good players returning from injury from opposition teams, it has always trouble. It's like even
So,
if
so,
it's like
so you're worried about the whole Ronaldo coming off of his personal situation
yeah,
and coming back and taking.
yeah.
I mean, look,
I've
Varane
got
is
a
fit
feeling
as well.
that he will score today.
I think Rafael Varane is back. I think for the game, and then there was I forgot one other player was also was a doubt who's also back. I think it was Rashford. I think, although I mean Rashford, I mean we literally gave him a career. He did fuck all after that against us. But
yeah.
yeah, but whenever this happens, it puts like it's a little bit nervous. But looking at the lineup, I think yeah, I think I mean we sometimes we question Mikel Arteta's choice, like team selection and
Mm,
stuff like
Well,
that.
let me tell you that the starting lineup for Manchester United today does not. All right. Well, it does include Ronaldo. Actually, I almost thought it didn't. De Gea, Lindelof, Varane, Dalot, or Diego Dallo, Ronaldo. It's all in. Yeah, they got it like in order of numbers. So, De Gea, Lindelof, Varane, Dalot, Telles, Matic, yeah,
yeah,
Alonga starting, McTominay starting, Ronaldo is starting
yeah.
for
Not
Bruno,
surprised.
Sanchez. All right, so I mean that's a fairly full strength lineup. It's not really
Yeah,
their super,
yeah,
and then Maguire due to the bomb threat apparently that he got is not starting. So I mean that
Wow. Bomb threat.
Arsenal.
Bloody hell.
Look,
But
we
no.
don't know what to expect from Ronaldo, and I'm not going to comment on the element of whether Ronaldo's past week or two makes him more dangerous or not, because that's really not relevant. He's always dangerous, and I
Yeah,
would rather not have him in the team for a different reason than he wasn't in the team against Liverpool.
yeah,
yeah,
But this is a team that we've always, we've actually done pretty well on. We've done well against them in the last couple of seasons. With the exception of the last game, which we lost despite dominating them. We we can end them today.
Yeah,
we can
that's
end them
Yeah.
today with a
Yeah.
win, with a convincing win. They will be done, and it'll be down to us and Spurs. Daniel,
Yeah.
do you think that we can do that? Do you think that we have I mean, who knows what we have given what we think that we have in the previous games?
I mean, we should beat them.
Not what I asked.
Oh,
We should beat them. Do you feel confident that we have what it takes today, or like, are we going to come out
yeah.
and play down to them?
I think that we have got what it takes to beat them, and hopefully we.
I need a definitive. I need a definitive answer. Are we
Just
going
say
to
it,
beat them
man.
or not?
Just
Because
say
I don't
that.
have an answer to that, so I want you to say it so that I can blame you afterwards.
Okay, then yes, we will beat them. There we go.
All right. So if we don't beat them,
it's on Danny. That's the guy.
yeah. I mean, clip this, put it on Twitter. Yeah. Because I think we'll beat them, but this guy's really, really negative. No, I'm just kidding. So Chevron,
yeah, just feel free to blame me.
Yeah, just yeah. And if you're in the chat, and if you feel like coming into this car crash, GoonerOpenMic.com. I've been up all night, and I'm probably going to go to sleep as soon as the game ends. But if you want to join us for the pregame and give your thoughts, you can go to GoonerOpenMic.com. Chevron, you've watched the last few Arsenal Manchester United games, have you not?
Yeah,
we've actually done fairly well against them.
I think at home, I think we have a really good record, except for the one season in which like David De Gea turned out into like some, I don't know.
One of the best games I've ever been at the Emirates was on New Year's Day a couple years ago against Manchester United, and I mean, we just punked the shit out of them.
Yeah,
and I don't really think that much has changed since then. I mean,
Arteta's first win for Arsenal was against Manchester United. Like in his first professional career as a coach, his first ever win was against Manchester United.
Arteta?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it absolutely was, and I was at that game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and it was a dominant win. I mean, there was the Bournemouth game on Boxing Day, and then there was the Chelsea game on the 29th with Jorginho scoring where he shouldn't have been even in the game.
Should have been sent off. Yeah.
And then the New Year's Day game was against Manchester United, which gave me a very, very good taste in my mouth. And from there, what is your thought? Because you are, as far as I can tell, you are a new participant in the Open Mic show on the Gooners podcast. What is your take on Arteta and, after the last month or so of kind of weird results, like where do you stand on him at this point?
Okay, this is not to like slag off like I don't want to categorize people as flip flops or anything like that. I think people have every right to be dynamic, right? It's just that I personally didn't prefer to do that. Like I sort of like that stability. So I've always been Arteta in. I've always liked what he has done. I think especially the Chelsea game that you sort of mentioned, because I remember watching that game because I missed the Bournemouth game. I think I was working. I saw the Chelsea game and I was like, I saw a completely different like Arsenal team in that game, and I don't know. Since that game, I think there's something about this Arsenal team, like defensively, I would say the compactness and stuff like that is something that I've always sort of latched on to over the last 2 years when things have, even if things have gotten bad and stuff like that. Well, what he has done in this season, well, that's, I think plenty has been discussed already. But
here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Why do we have to be person in or person out? Daniel Robert has said it perfectly right here. I'm Arsenal in. Like my thought process, and I'm tired of defending it, but I'll do it again. My thought process is I don't want to have to keep starting over.
Hmm.
I couldn't give two shits about Mikel Arteta,
Hmm.
but I do want what is happening to continue. So,
Yeah.
so can I be behind? And I don't want to use the P word. I don't want to use the P word. I don't want to say penis or process.
Hmm.
The P word is like dubious, but like
Yeah.
and trust me, the process has had many faults. The process has stopped. It has stuttered. It has not gone the way that everyone would want it to go, which is what you would expect with a kind of a debutante manager and someone who's learning on the job. It isn't ideal, but when you make it about the individual, you just lose all credibility. If you hate Arteta, and if you hate his lack of experience, and if you hate the 4 or 5 players that have not mixed with him well, and maybe they're doing well in France or in Spain or whatever, you know. If you hate that, then you're not in tune with the development of our club, and that's fine. And hopefully you'll get brought back to it. If you like the things that are changing in our club, if you like the fundamental things, the back room stuff, the mentality stuff, the logistical stuff, all of that, it doesn't mean that you just have the hots for this Spanish dude with good hair. It means that you love Arsenal and that you want the Arsenal decision to, like, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, the Arteta sexual thing, I couldn't give two shits about Mikel Arteta, but I do want I do like what he's doing. And if anyone else came in tomorrow and did the same thing he was doing, I would support that person. I wouldn't go whining about how he led, Las Palmas in, his next job in Spain. I wouldn't go complaining about how he did a great job at Getafe. I would say, you know what, we need somebody who's going to continue this progress. So Mikel Arteta is a figurehead for something that I mean, you either have to love him or hate him, and I just think that's just so ridiculous.
I think when I say Arteta in, I think that's what I mean as well. I mean, that's just a name. It's his name is Mikel Arteta.
That.
So when you say,
I don't hate you saying that. I'm just saying, like, the Wenger in, Wenger out. I was always like, you know what, I'm neither, but I think it's time for a change. Like it doesn't have to be Arteta in or Arteta out. It doesn't have to be Ozil in. It could just be like Arsenal in.
Yeah, you just like what the club is doing and what the results on the pitch, right? I mean, everything at the end of the day is judged by that. And if everything is in sync, like you mentioned, like if you can see that these results can be, like, say, sustainable, that you have a squad that that has a very good age, where, I mean, it's like the combined age of the squad has not probably even reached its peak, right? And we also shown, like, for example, the last game, if you want to sort of take a look at it, like, I think our competitiveness away from home has improved significantly, I would say, in the last 2 years. Of course, well, last season was behind closed doors, so winning at Stamford Bridge was whatever. I mean, winning at Stamford Bridge last week was nothing, if you ask me, because there was nobody there.
Let me tell you something. As someone who has been to some away games and has been in home games, there's a big difference between 5 years ago and now, and I just want to get this said because we're at a crossroads in our Arsenal, in our whether we're about to take the leap or whether we're about to sink back. 5 years ago, on a Monday night in April, I went to Crystal Palace. and we shat the bed, and the away supporters, who are the most dedicated, diehard. I mean, to their ability. Some of us don't have the ability to be over there every day. Go, they're not better or worse, but they love the club, and they spend a lot of time and effort. And they went there on a Monday night, and the club shat the bed so bad that they said, "You're not fit to wear the shirt," to our players. And I was there for that. 5 years later, to the day almost, we went there again, lost 3-0, played absolute shit, but there was something about the club and its environment that made the away supporters, to a man or a woman, whoever was there, those who stuck around to the end were singing Mikel Arteta's name and saying, "You know what? We're still this is a bad result. And we're still on track." That is the difference between 2017 and 2022, and you can't deny it. I mean, you don't have to like what's happening right now to understand that there's a different mentality. And if you want to check one thing that Mikel Arteta's changed, if you don't want to do anything on the pitch, if you want to talk about wins, losses, draws, he's changed the relationship between the club and the team. And that won't last if we keep finishing out of Europe. But it's valuable to me. And when I was over there, I saw two, my most recent trip, October, I was there for 5 games and we won every one of them. In April, my son and I saw 2 dreadful losses, but we also saw a team that had its supporters, its day-to-day supporters behind it. So Twitter aside, Wenger in, Wenger out, Arteta in, Arteta out. This club is at a crossroads where it has an opportunity to really dig in, and I think that's the unspoken part of what's happening right now that's more important.
I think the one logic that I would say really sort of gets me. Well, I mean, I'm already sort of numb to it right now. But the one thing that I just really don't like that I see, I mean, I'm not picking out on anyone, but a lot of people do this. Like, I hate the Cronkies. So Mikel Arteta is, he's hired by, by the Cronkies. Edu is hired by the Cronkies, blah, blah, whatever. So
were you saying
I'm just
you
not
hate the Cronkies, or were you saying that that's a thing that you hate, that when people say that? Like, well, was that your personal opinion?
Yeah,
it's okay. Whatever it is, okay.
No. It's my personal opinion is I hate the thing that people use that as to say, I'm just gonna mourn everything that the club does because I don't care.
That's what I was getting at. I was trying to see whether you were saying I hate the Cronkies as your personal opinion, or whether you were saying that that's what you hate when people say.
I mean, I do hate the Cronkies, but
well, I mean, no, they're not lovable people.
Yeah, but what I hate more is the narrative that I hate the Cronkies, so everything that Arsenal does, I'm just gonna sit there and I'm gonna moan about it. I'm going to belittle every win, and Daniel Albert, okay.
I know Daniel, and I think he's being a bit
sarcastic. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's been a bit
so I mean, it's like I just feel. I mean, like I said, I at this point I don't care if someone offended, but I just find it very, very like self-contradicting. Like when you say things like, "Oh, I love the club." Like, what is it that you love? The vacant, I don't know, seat at the Emirates. Like, you cannot just say I love the club and then say, "Oh, whatever the club is doing, I'm always going to be like mourning about it. I'm just not going to be happy." I wouldn't be surprised if we get top 4, if we come like probably, I don't know, close to Chelsea. I wouldn't be surprised if the entire summer it just goes to stuff like, "Oh, we are back in the top 4. Wasn't this the thing that we had been doing 5 years ago, and now that we are back, what's that we're celebrating about?" And all those narratives clouding our entire summer. So I just don't understand how you can be in that of a mindset. I don't know. I cannot do that, but
well,
I just don't get it.
Sherman, you make a good point, and Daniel, I want to bring you in.
Yeah.
there's this dichotomy where like people seem to think, and this is not the discussion I thought we'd have today, but it's the one we're having, so it's good.
Yep.
You either have to like act like you care about the Arsenal by just being unsatisfied, or you like lose credibility because you're willing to accept mediocrity. Like sport is something that, and this is a conversation probably better had after the game and not during a game day. Sport is something that none of us control.
No.
So if you're gonna be a supporter of a club or a team or a franchise or whatever it is, wherever you live, whatever it is, like unless you're employed by that club, you don't control it. So like
no.
So I mean, like, do you feel better when you're angry when things go bad? I just don't want to talk about it. When things go bad for other people, they want to talk about it in the sense that they need to show that they're like not okay with it. And I don't feel the need to show that I'm not okay with it. I'm just not okay with it. But like, Daniel, how do you take a loss like we had against Southampton? Like, how do you feel after that game? That's why I've been doing mic shows, except I haven't done one in a long time.
I mean, I feel, well, I'm sorry. I feel embarrassed that we've lost because of how they, well.
Who do you feel embarrassed? Like, okay, embarrassment is a feeling.
Yeah.
Who are you embarrassed in front of? And I'm just like, we're having a little bit of a therapy session here. Like, because I'm embarrassed when we lose because I know that people that I know that don't like Arsenal are going to see us as a joke.
And, well,
like, who are you embarrassed?
I mean, it's never nice to see. And as I briefly mentioned a few moments ago, football Twitter is so toxic, like so toxic in general. Like, I try to avoid that because some people can like wildly overreact, like go over the top, and it's cringy. We all hate to
let me ask you
Daniel.
Let me ask you a very direct question.
Okay.
We lost 3 games in a row against mid-table teams.
Yeah.
Those games were like Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. Like, how long did it take you to shake that off and move on with your life? Or did you?
He's just stuck.
Yeah, you stumped me there.
Well, no. I mean,
normally,
I want to know, and Chevron, I want to know the same thing. Matthew D'Souza has just said it. This is what happens when I've been drinking because I want to, I want to have this conversation.
I mean, like, by the next day, I'm like.
Do you hit
over
people?
It? No.
I'm kidding. All right, so Chevron, let me move it to you.
Yeah, by the next day,
I want to know how people process losses because I've always I've learned to process a loss. Oh, Odegaard is captain today. That's pretty cool. You know what? I like this lineup. I'm looking at it. This is why I'm like looking over. I'm seeing the starting lineup on NBC, and Nketiah is leading the line. And you know what? I'm here for that. I'm here for that because he earned it in the last game. But
Yeah, he did.
switching back
Definitely.
to our therapy session, when we lose, I don't like to dwell on it. I don't understand why people love to dwell on it and love to talk about it and love to point fingers. So, Chevron, we've just met. I don't know. I mean, I got a sense that you probably share more in common with me than other people do. But like, do you feel that like getting over a loss quickly is a self-coping mechanism, or do you feel that it's somehow accepting mediocrity and that you're, a pussy?
I'm not a pussy.
That's what's called a loaded question.
Yeah. I mean, look, when we lose, okay, you're not at the end of 90 minutes. You're not going to be sit there and be like, oh man, I guess this process ain't gonna work, or oh maybe these guys will make fun of me on Twitter. No, you're just the moment the final whistle is blown, you're just like deflated, right? I mean, as a football fan, like that's what gets you. And I also feel like I think that's the feeling that also sort of uh, helps me like recover quickly, I would say. Like that when we win, it's just pure elation, like without caring about like how the players played or who the manager is or whatever the p word is or whatever it is. Like you just elated, right? Like when Saka scored that penalty like against you, you were just something of you're not like, oh man, like you're not going to like process in your head like what this is going to component, right? It's just like pure elation. So the opposite feeling is just pure deflation, and that's all you feel. You don't the stuff that where the manager or the club or Twitter banter and all those things, they happen much later after the game for me, personally for me. But apparently it for a lot of them, I guess it does as when the game is going on. I mean, some of the stuff is just pure gold when, especially the time between like the 75th minute and the 85th minute. Like if you're so nervous and if you cannot just like handle the game, like yeah, just go to Twitter.
Well,
It's
I
just,
mean, there is there's a need something, and I'm kind of wrapped up in this podcast universe. I mean, no one watches our podcast, but I know a lot of people who do a lot of podcasts, and I'm in this community kind of where you have to have an opinion. Like the only thing worse than like, I mean, there's nothing worse than not having an opinion. And sometimes I don't have an opinion. Sometimes I don't want to have an opinion. Sometimes I just want to just stick my head in the sand and say, you know what, I don't know why we lost 3 games in a row, but I sure as hell hope we win the next one. And when we win the next one, I'll be like, I mean, I'm Arsenal till I die. Like, I just think there's, and again, like Matthew said or Daniel said, this is not the conversation that normally.
Let's talk about the game. Yeah. Let's talk about the.
I mean, we're not really talking about the lineup. I don't feel the need to like just have a take on everything. And if you're really serious, you live and die the club. And that's who I want to talk to before and after the game, is the people who just went into the game hoping that we would win, and after the game are telling me how they feel about whether we won or lost, one way or the other. And if you want to stick your head in the sand after we lose 3 games in a row like I do, good. You know what? That doesn't mean that you're.
Yeah.
I mean that. Am I the reason that Arsenal sucks? Because when we lost 3 games to shitty teams, 2 of which I was in the attendance for, I just didn't really want to talk about it, and we haven't done I mean, is that? Am I just afraid to confront the realities of Arsenal Football Club, or am I just someone who would rather dwell on the positive? I don't know, but so today, starting lineup.
Okay.
Eric Ten Hag is apparently going to manage the team from Amsterdam today. I don't know if he's
Okay.
there or not, but former manager of Go Ahead Eagles is going to manage the team. Personally, I think that's not gonna work long term for them. I think they've hired the wrong person for what they need. But like today, does it give them any spark at all, Daniel?
No. Well, I mean, well, if he was there in person, like he could impose himself more on his team. Or, well, when a club,
Yeah, I like my question. Do you?
Well, yeah, I do. It's just that when clubs get a new manager, they tend to start off well. If that makes sense.
Well, sure. Yeah, it happens.
If you give me
But he's
one
joining them
moment,
only this
I'll be right
summer.
back. I'll be right back.
Yeah, this is the Chevron. This is like the weirdest situation where they've got a new manager, but they don't.
Yeah,
and they're playing like shit, but they're not. And they have Ronaldo, who's missed time with an awful personal situation, but then he's back. Like, have you ever had less of an idea what was going to happen than today's game?
no, like I said, I told you, right? I mean, like all these sort of various predicaments that are replaced, they are actually the things that slightly, I would say, it makes me nervous. That like we have to play them in these kind of situations, because like a lot of things can happen, like maybe some clarity about where the club is going to be in the summer. Can it give them a little bit of an inspiration to do well? But again, the thing is, it can also work the other way, where it's just like, okay, this season is a write-off. I don't think top four is achievable. We're going to start a rebuild, apparently, which I don't get. I don't know what they did in the last 8 or 9 years to have a rebuild, but they're getting one. So it can work either ways, but I just feel like I understand that some players are back, like you mentioned, like Ronaldo is back, and I don't know, Rafael Varane and is back as well. But if we actually look at the game against Liverpool and even against Everton, and they lost, this team is bad. Like, this team is really bad.
They're bad.
Like,
they're bad, but you don't know what I mean.
We don't know what
this team
Arsenal
is
turn
probably
up.
better for us to play right now than Southampton.
Probably.
But
Yeah.
but
I mean, look,
doesn't
I mean,
matter.
like I said, they've got some like individual quality there. I mean, I know Bruno Fernandes he has not been added for a while now, but I mean, like on his day he could turn up. I mean,
Yeah.
we know Jadon Sancho's quality. I'm slightly worried about the potential Cedric Soares, Jadon Sancho battle, even if there is one. But yeah, I mean, they could sort of really hurt us with those sort of individual moments. But if
this game is going to have 8 goals in it, and I just hope that we get 5 of them.
5-3, yeah.
Daniel, your final word, because I've got some local friends coming over to watch the game, and I got to go down.
Yeah, sure.
What's your score prediction?
Yeah, we have to do prediction. Yeah.
I've said 5-3 Arsenal.
3-2 Arsenal.
Chevron, you
3-1.
3-1.
3-1 Arsenal. Yeah.
All right.
I think Smith Rowe and Saka are going to score again. I don't know who the third goal is. Maybe Xhaka will score one. I don't know.
If Smith Rowe scores today, there's one thing that you can count on. I will be in the bathroom taking a piss when he scores. Every time he has scored for the Arsenal, I've been in the bathroom taking a piss. To the point where against Southampton, I went to the bathroom specifically to try to help him score, and he hit the post. Or the one that he like hit into the ground and got saved. I was in the bathroom trying to help him score. So that's going to happen. You know what? Today was what it was. The game starts in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe or maybe not I'll be on after the game. I don't know because I might be too tired.
Nah, you go get some rest, mate.
I'm unpredictable. But Chevron, it was nice to meet you. Daniel, it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
And we'll leave you with 5 minutes of me and my son in Germany. Just fucking around.
Nice to meet you, Chevron, as well.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Daniel. Yeah, it's my first time. Like, just a small. I don't know.
Hope you will join us again because you know what we do with more notice. We do a lot of these shows on a regular basis, and this was just kind of something because I was up all night that I wanted to do. So have a good game, both of you. Work as hard as you can. Your work rate will be important today as to whether we can win. So don't slag off.
Yeah,
don't
I'll be taking the trips to bathroom as well.
Today.
I'll be taking the trips to bathroom as well.
And then enjoy this 5 minutes of stupidness with me and my son in Germany.
Feinberg TV. We just watched Dortmund.
Get hammered.
Yes, we are Arsenal supporters, but you know what? Dortmund is a fun team to support. They do a lot right. They did nothing right on the pitch tonight.
Other than sign Donnie Malin from PSV, who we gave away as well.
So now I've been to 2 Dortmund games. I've seen 4 Dortmund goals. 3 of them have been scored by players who have an Arsenal pedigree now. So basically, Holland is signing for Arsenal.
I think he already did.
And he's
free signatures.
And I mean, he looked like he wanted to play for Arsenal tonight, not Dortmund. Jude Bellingham coming to Arsenal. This is the gerbil. You have heard it here. Great atmosphere, great stadium. Would you agree? I've been talking for years about how I wanted to take you here. Other than me making us late.
You made me miss the anthem, but...
Other than me making us late, did you enjoy your time? Did you enjoy your time at Signal Iduna Park?
Yeah.
Well, 2 games today.
Paris tomorrow.
8 goals today. Paris tomorrow. Feinberg, football, family, football, flying, football. Circus.
Continues tomorrow.
Is underway. This is 20 minutes after an absolutely gutting loss at home. These guys are either drunk, love their team, or both. These guys are drunk! But you know what? Support. So many beers to choose from. I could get so drunk tonight. I could also get so dead tonight. Dortmund fan?
Dortmund fan, of course.
Dortmund fan.
I lose my shirt, but okay.
Very difficult result tonight.
It was not good,
but look how much they support their team.
Yeah. You're the best, man.
In England, you lose 4-1, everyone goes Angry.
Out of stadium.
Very good. Angry. They start punching people in the face.
Oh, no.
All right. So, but Dortmund,
Dortmund is other.
we support the team,
Support every time.
right? All right. Dortmund gonna finish. Dortmund gonna
Next season,
next season
Take it.
number one.
number one.
All right.
Good.
Beautiful. First, I'm gonna go to the water closet, and I'm gonna go put some water in the closet.
Water? Are you gonna pour my water bottle out again?
The water will be coming out of my penis.
Wait, what is that also called? Where's the water coming from?
Urine. Oh, from my dick.
And what else?
My cock.
The water is coming from his cock. Wait, is there a restaurant open in here? Here's Mike trying to figure out how to get into the water closet. Here's Dad trying to find the room key. Do you need me to hold something? We need the room key to get in because it's late AF.
Hold my penis.
Oh, I don't think your penis is gonna work. Oh, it worked. We're in. We need our masks on though. Dad. Dad, put your mask on. He also doesn't have any shoes on. Dad, aren't you getting a drink? Dad's covering. He's currently covering his face with the sweatshirt that's been on the ground 5 times.
Oh. Oh.
That was on the ground in the train station. That was on the ground at the Hauptbahnhof. He's gotten some water. Smart choice. I love it. There's Coca-Cola Zero up there. 0 calorie Coca-Cola. We're not going to be getting Red Bull. Oh. Hi. He's covering his face. Oh, we didn't need that one, but it's okay.